Okay, hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to JFD Brokers Traders Tea Time with me, Darius Lunchauskas. Today's the 4th of June 2018, so welcome everyone. So we're going to have a look at the markets, what's happening with them right now, what levels to watch out for later on, the usual stuff. But before we do that, of course, let's have a read through our risk disclaimer. So the content of this webinar does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest and we can continue. Also, a very quick reminder of our JFD Brokers research page here, which we update on a daily basis. We throw out different trading shoutouts, different technical analysis. We do our daily analysis, which we throw out in the morning as well. So, and as well, of course, analysis in different other languages, so like German and Italian. So please do not hesitate to visit us and check us out here. So yeah, guys, and I think you can find something useful for yourself. But for now, let's quickly have a look at the markets. So the first one I want to touch on is the FTSE 100. Now the FTSE has been moving higher today. We're seeing this nice positive day for the FTSE. Certainly it's not a huge rally to the upside, but nevertheless, I mean, we've pushed away from this 21 EMA. We're currently aiming for this level right here that I've got highlighted. So that's 7,795. So 77.95 area, approximately there, could be a good area for a test. Could act as a good level of resistance initially. This has been, just to kind of remind you guys, that this has been the approximately the highs that we saw here in January in this index. So if we do get a nice break here through this 77.95, well, we could end up pushing higher here, maybe even towards these recent highs here that we had at around 7,900 area. Now could get a test as well, but that's only if we get a nice break here above the 77.95. So for now, just keep observing this area. Certainly this area could act as a good level of resistance and from which the index could reverse and move lower. But for us to become more bearish on this one, we would need to see a nice break here below this level right here at around 76.10, approximately there. So if we do get a nice break here below, well, this could open the path towards these lower levels, initially the 75.65 and then maybe towards this 74.90 mark. So for now, guys, I would probably recommend to stay sharp. Certainly keep an eye on this level first, the 77.95. Let's see what he wants to do with it. Quickly looking at the DAX. Now DAX has a have a red day today, and certainly, of course, it's not looking good here. Moved away from this area that I've kept talking about, this 12,830 mark. So moved away from it. Currently, well, met its support around this 200 EMA, and now stuck in this little range here between that 200 EMA and that 12,830. For now, we're going to stay neutral on this one. We need to see a nice break here, either below this 12,600 in order to consider further declines, or actually a move back above this 12,830 in order to consider the psychological 13,000 again. Now, for now, that's what I'm saying. So for now, we're just kind of staying neutral on this one and just observing it. Let's quickly touch on the FTSE MIB. Now, probably as you understand that, last week was quite an eventful week in Italy, and we can see this by this index here, and we can see that we had a nice massive decline here. We broke the key support area at around the 21,470, moved lower, touched on the 21,150 approximately there, but then reversed back up, and now we're trading at around the 22,200 area. So certainly for us to become more bullish on this one, we would need to see a nice move back here, back above this 22,575, and eventually a break of this 200 EMA. If we do get all these moves here to the upside, and if we start taking out these lines, then well, we could end up pushing higher here, maybe even testing this upwards moving trend line from underneath. And this trend line has been running from around the 5th of March this year. So like I said, for that we would need to see if we would if the scenario would go this way. I mean, we could see if we see a break here above the 22,575. Well, like I said, we could end up pushing higher here. For now, again, probably similar story as with the DAX. We're staying neutral on this one, just because this could be classed as just a small kind of correction here back to, then we could move eventually. We could move to the downside again, and if we'll start breaking the 21,800 area, we could end up moving lower here, testing these recent lows, the last week's lows here. So for now, just stay cautious, guys, and observe the 21,800 as a potential area of support if this index moves a little bit lower right now. On the upside, again, I will repeat myself, keep an eye on the 22,575 approximately there. Let's quickly have a look at gold, and gold is recovering a little bit today. Initially this morning, we were looking at it was showing us like building up a bearish candle here, but we can see that we recovered back to the upside, and now we're getting held here by this downwards moving resistance line here that's running from the 11th of April approximately there. So now it's getting held by this line. For now, again, probably we're going to stay quite neutral on this. We need to see a nice break here above the 1307 in order for us to become bullish on this commodity, because if we do get a nice break here above the 1307, and then maybe if we do get a close above that level, we could end up pushing higher here again, maybe even towards this 1326 mark. Certainly a break below this 1290 mark could open the path towards these lower levels, initially towards the 1282.5, and then maybe eventually to the 1274, which coincides with this trend line here that I've got highlighted here. This trend line, by the way, is running from July last year, so could be a good area for a test. But like I said, only if we get a nice break here and a break and a close below the 1290. Let's quickly have a look at a few pairs. So actually, just quickly, let's touch on one of the currency index on this currency index for the US dollar. So the DXY is showing us some weakness here a little bit. Certainly made a nice move here, almost touched the 21 EMA. The sentiment is still looking more negative, let's say like that. For us to become more bullish on this one, we would need to see a nice move back above this trend line here, of this upwards moving steep trend line that's running here from mid-April this year. If we do get a move like this, then well, we could start aiming for these higher levels. But for now, of course, we're trading below this upwards moving trend line, and we're kind of close towards this 21 EMA. It's currently acting as kind of support, even though it hasn't touched yet, properly touched, but nevertheless it could end up moving lower. And if we do get a break here below this 93.30 mark, well, this could confirm further declines, and we could see maybe a move towards this 92.65 area. So approximately there. So for now, stay sharp. Keep an eye on this level here on the downside here on the 93.30 mark. Could act as a potential good area of support initially, but if it starts to break, then well, it could open the path towards these lower levels that I just mentioned. Let's quickly have a look at the euro dollar, and the euro dollar is moving higher. Certainly you probably understood that by looking at the DXY. So today we kind of got close to this this level that I kept talking about, the 117,500, and we were not far from it, just shy of around 5 pips from that level. Certainly keep an eye on it. I mean, if we do get a nice break here and eventually a close above this 117,500, we could end up pushing higher, maybe even testing this 118,250 mark, and then moving higher again. But for now, just keep an eye on it. Just keep an eye on the 117,500 mark. It's currently acting as a nice level of resistance. Let's see if it wants to break that or not. But at the moment, the pair kind of continues to look bullish. Well, bullish-ish. Let's say like that. Certainly, there could be a strong reversal to the downside. But if we do get a break below the 1.16500 approximately there, then we could end up moving lower. But for now, again, like I said, keep an eye on the 1.17500. Let's see what he wants to do with that level. Let's quickly have a look at GBP USD now, and GBP USD continues to push higher. Certainly, I was talking about this area here, guys, the 133,900. We we managed to kind of touch on the managed to touch the 134 mark today, and we broke the 133,900 that I was talking about. But now we can see that we moved back below it. Certainly, if we do get a nice break here again and eventually a close above the 133,900, keep an eye on this 21 EMA. I mean, is the next potential area of resistance, or even actually the slightly better one, which is the 134.55. I was talking about this level in my previous past videos a couple of weeks ago, and we can see that it acted as a good level of support in the past, and now it could become a nice level of resistance. So for now, keep an eye on the 133.900 and then 134.55 mark, approximately there. On the downside, for us to become more bearish on this one, we need to see a break of the 132.005 area. So the 132.05, or actually even let's round it up to the 132. A break below that and eventually a close below the 132 mark could open the path towards this level right here, which is a good, nice level of support at 130.55. This level was a good level of support here in November and October last year, so keep an eye on it, guys. I mean, could play out, but only if we get a nice close below the 132. Let's quickly look at Aussie dollar. Probably not much to mention here. It's just probably the ones who are trading the Aussie dollar. Yep, it's moving higher. Certainly, we've broke some key levels, and I was talking about this one this morning, and I told you guys to keep an eye on this upwards moving trend line, this long-term upwards moving trend line that's running from January 2016. So we managed to get a slight touch of that one from underneath, to touch this trend line from underneath, and currently we can see that it's acting as a good level of resistance. Of course, for us now, if this bullishness will continue, we need to see a nice close above this trend line in order to kind of consider further upside. But for now, until this level was going to hold, we're going to be, let's say, more skeptical about the bullish side. But nevertheless, I mean, like I said, keep an eye on it. Anything can happen, but if we get a strong reversal to the downside, we would need to see a nice move below the 0.75900 in order to consider further declines. So we could see something maybe like a move down, a test of this 0.75900, and then maybe a move back up again. But okay, let's not over speculate here. Certainly this is what we want to see, but like I said, the market never does what we want it to do. But so for now, guys, just keep on watching it. Just keep an eye on this trend line here, and maybe we'll get a nice break here. If we do, we're probably going to become more bullish on this pair. Let's quickly touch on one last pair. Is the NZD USD, and we're seeing a nice pop here as well. Watch out for the 0.7055 mark, approximately there. If we do get a nice break here and eventually a close above this level, then we could potentially aim for higher levels, maybe even towards this 0.7155 area. But for now, we can see that the 0.7055 is getting held, is holding the price, and It's holding the pair and acting as a good level of resistance. On the downside, we would need to see a nice break here below the 0.69500 in order to consider further declines. But for now, this is looking quite bullish, and we could probably aim for this next area of resistance at around 0.70950, approximately there, which also coincides with this 50 EMA. Okay guys, I hope you found this useful. I need to jump off the mic. I'll have to wrap it up here, and I hope you have a good US session, the ones who are trading the US session, of course. But if you're not, if you want to join me tomorrow at my Traders Espresso at 7 o'clock British summer time and 6 o'clock GMT time. Thank you very much, guys, and have a good evening. Bye-bye.